Welcome back to the Leadership Project, where our vision is to inspire all leaders to challenge the status quo. And we seek to inspire you with knowledge and emotional intelligence to create a meaningful impact. Today's episode is part 2 of a 2-part series interview with Faisal Shah, the mentor to Millennials. As we pick up the interview, Faisal is sharing with us his own transition from being in corporate life to being that mentor and starting his own business. And we go deeper into understanding what it means to unlock 10x thinking. We really hope you enjoy the show. Now, there's a good segue, I think, to talk about your recent transition, let's say. So you had a very successful IT career, corporate world, and people would look at your resume with great admiration and say, yeah, this guy really, the world is at his feet and he can continue going, and who knows where he could go in that career. But you did make a decision to jettison and to start your own business, the Wake Up Mentor. What inspired you to do that? Was there a specific moment? Was it something that burnt over time? What inspired your recent transition?
You know, about 6 years ago, I remember having a conversation with my boss at lunch once, and I said to him, something's missing in my life. Because he was telling me, you gradually, you're going to get VP, and, things are really good. And I was saying, what do I need to improve? And he said, Patrick, just keep going down this path. You're doing well. And, well, the thing was, what I shared with him, I said, something's missing. And I didn't know what that was. And I was going around people who were at the same level as me. So somebody said, you've got body, you've got mind, it looks like you need soul. That's very high level. That's very wishy-washy. I need something more concrete. So I started to read. I started to mix with people who were already where I want to go, or where I thought I wanted to go. I had a lot of recommendations, and a mentor of mine in the company I worked actually gave me a list of books. You need to read this, and this. This book was one of them. It was actually probably the second book I opened after Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
First chapter of that, it was like I had a 400-volt electric shock in my body. I was thinking too small, mate. I had to 10x my thinking. I was not surrounding myself with the people I want to become. I was surrounding the people who are the same as me. In this book, I believe it's in this book, he says something along the lines of, when you're doing karate and you're a yellow belt, you don't fight with other yellow belts. You want to fight with the black belts. That's how you're going to grow. And I was like, geez, I'm fighting with the yellow belts. I'm not growing. And when I changed that and I made a few small changes in my life, boom, everything exploded. My think exploded. I saw the glass ceiling of where I am. And because I'm never going to be partner of an institution of where I was, that's for sure. And so where's the ceiling? Where's the glass ceiling? I was like, I need to 10x this. And I did an exercise, a 10x super life program, where I just took all my goals, thought about who I want to become, thought about where I want to go. What does life look like? What do I look like? I did that and it blew my mind. And that's when I thought, wow, I've just 10x my thinking. Am I going to get to where I want to go by going down this path? Absolutely not. And my employer, any company out there, does not know how long they're going to be around for. So I'm like, okay, how do I get to this goal? And I had to reorientate and pivot. And COVID was a fantastic opportunity to do that.
Yeah, good point. I mean, COVID, it was a shocking thing that there's so many negative things and I don't want to go on a spiral with all of that, but it is and was a shocking thing for the world, but it also did represent opportunities to rethink and for a lot of people to reset. I want to unpack a little bit some of the things that you said there for the audience. I get accused of being a Simon Sinek fanboy, by the way, so very impressed with your reference to Start With Why, and it's a life changer as well. I fully prescribe to all of that. I don't necessarily agree with every single thing that Simon says, but that's fine. That's diversity of thought. But the whole philosophy behind what he drives and finding your personal why is really game changing. And I strongly encourage everyone in that direction. And for the audience that are listening to the podcast as opposed to the video coverage of today, the book that Faisal was pointing to on his bookshelf behind him right now is the 10X rule, and that was what he was referring to. So tell us a little bit more, Faisal, about the 10X rule book and how that has really changed what you do now.
Yeah, so the 10X rule itself, I'll start with that. The 10X rule is all about thinking big. It's thinking 10 times bigger than your current goals or where you are right now. And then you have massive goals and you attack them with massive action. I mean, like nobody's doing out there, like nobody would think of doing. Even yourself. If you're going to go, and that can be in every aspect. I think he gives 7 facets where it's like money, your career, your health, your spiritual life, your love life. What does that look like? And for me, Mick, one of the reasons why we don't actually do what we want to do at New Year's is because we're thinking too small. I'm going to lose half a kilo. You can lose half a kilo in 2 days. Seriously, you can. But what about losing 10 kilos, for example? And I want to get a 5% pay rise. Hey, how about earning 10 times more than what you earn today? What does that look like? Whoa, for that. I need to probably invest my money. Maybe this money that I'm getting from inheritance. Maybe I don't want to go down to the dealership and buy a new 4x4. Maybe I need to be smart with that. And all this kind of think is what the 10X rule is all about. So I have 10X goals. I have this 10X planner that I write down my goals every single morning because, we write ourselves. When do we write our goals? We write them once a year on New Year's Day. We're going to hit the gym, and by the 7th of January, the gym park. I
think it's
empty.
Something like 90% of all New Year's resolutions don't make it to February, or maybe it's even higher. But it's something like that.
Right. Well. What I learned is to write down my goals every morning and every night, twice a day. So every morning, I'll share one with you. This is an exclusive, but I want to be the best mentor in my niche. I want a strong brand reputation. I want to be the guy that people think of when they want to get their money right or when they're not happy in their careers, when they want to get starting an investment and they're seeing all these graphs everywhere on TikTok, Instagram, and they're overwhelmed. They think of me. That's where I want to be. They think of Wake Up Mentor.
Really great, Faisal. Once again, I want to unpack a little bit, and I'm going to share something that is going on in my business life at the moment. We've had a very successful launch of a new product and a new business within Cubic recently, and that's the business that I run. It's called Umo. And we're at this stage where we've had a very successful launch and we're making great progress in the market. We've got a lot of market attention. It's going really well. And this is no secret, if you like. I'm about to do my quarterly strategy review with my team this week, and there's one question there. Should it be quarterly? That's the first question. But if we go into that review with a mindset of how we're going to double this business, just bear with me for a second. This is going somewhere. We will adopt a certain thinking. To double the business, we probably are going to tinker. We're going to go, we probably need 2 or 3 more BD people. We probably need, we're going to play around the edges. If we go into that same session with the mindset that you're talking about, how do we 10x this business? It opens up a whole heap of opportunities, and we're going to think differently. There's going to be more options on the table. People will think out of the box if they really think, how do we 10x this business instead of how do we double this business? And most organizations are looking for growth that is year-on-year growth and maybe too conservative. If you rethink it and go, well, how do we make this 10x within a certain time period? Maybe options that people are too scared to put on the table become options that get put on the table and become viable.
Absolutely. And that's what you want. You want everybody thinking. You must have a lot of smart people. Was it Steve Jobs who said, I don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. I hear smart people, so they tell me what to do. And that's absolutely it, Nick. It's a bit like that. It's about using the firepower you have under you and get them all thinking rather than sitting and waiting for orders. It's about how you want to set up that power.
And my team are amazing, by the way. And I'm really looking forward to this week when we do that exercise and putting that 10x challenge on the table and see where our thinking goes. It's going to be.
Throw the question out there. How would we 10x this business? See what comes up.
Okay.
See what comes up.
All right, let's talk about Wake Up Mentor for a while. What does a day in the life of Faisal look like today?
At the moment, I'm entering the mentor space. So I'm actually got people coming in for wake up calls, which is my complimentary discovery call, and they hit out to me to say what they need help with, and well, that's what I do. I ask them, what do you need help with? And they say, well, what? And I ask them a series of questions of how they rate their life in certain categories. And I dig deep into that because there's only a certain amount of categories that we have in our life. And Tony Robbins says this, Grant says this, Grant Cardone, the author of this book. You'll hear this everywhere. And when you've got these certain categories and they are all well, you will be happy in your life. For sure, you'll be happy. And you'll have purpose and everything will align. And so some people, they have health, but they don't have much else. Their careers are not good, or their careers are fantastic, but they've had to sacrifice their health and their family and their love life, and they're going through a divorce. But it works great. The bonus is great. And it's about having all this in alignment because you think big and you align it. You align it with your partner as well. So we go into a little bit of a deep dive, and that's what I do most days. I'm creating content. I'm reaching out to other companies and coaches who want to partner. And I'm just getting a feel for what's out there, people telling what they need. And then I design a program and I take people through certain programs if it's relevant to them. So I have all sorts of, I'm a Cardone licensee, a Grant Cardone licensee. So all Grant Cardone's training programs I have access to, and I'll pick and choose if there's something that's really, really appropriate for a certain person. And if not, if I'm not the right guy, I have an entourage and a network of amazingly fantastic people who are at the top of their game. If you're unemployment, they will get you jobs within 72 hours if you want. They will train you. They will do it for you. They will, like me, do it with you or do it for you. It's two options people can take. So that's what I do.
That power of the network is really important because you do need to surround yourself with people with complementary skills so that you can do that. And you talk about scaling, you talk about 10x. That's a 10x your network. That would be the first thing that I would say. Surround yourself with people that when a certain problem comes up, that you know, oh, well, actually, I know someone that's an expert in that, and you can tap into that. That's really great.
Absolutely, Nick. And all the people I surround myself with, they're all people who have purpose. So they're not in there because they need another sale. They're there because they want results. They don't want to sell your program. They want to see you get results. And that's the key difference between a lot of people out there and the people I hang around with.
Okay, the people you hang around with. You've touched on that a couple of times, so I want to unpack that for a second. I can't remember where I heard this one. It might have been Sean Cannell, and it could be that from him it was just a repeat of someone else's quote. So I'll have to look it up who said this one. You become the sum of the 5 closest people that you hang around. And you're putting that not just from you're the sum of the 5 friends that you hang around with. You're saying basically you are the sum of the people that you surround yourself with, in both your personal and your professional life. You've mentioned things, I think 3 or 4 times in the interview today that have made me think of that. So it looks like that you do that very purposefully.
Yeah, I mean, one of the people I mentored, this person, they were having goals, but they just couldn't get motivated. And we did an exercise. I said, hold on, we're going to do an audit. I want you to write down a list of all the 5 top people you surround yourself with. And it was recycled into a quote by Jim Rohn, I believe, who actually said, tell me the 5 people you surround yourself with and what they're worth, and I'll tell you how much money is in your bank account. Oh, wow. Something along those lines, he said, actually. Yeah. And there are twists on that, on your network is your net worth, which has been around for a while. But actually, I want to identify who those people are. And when they bring you up, they pull you up or where they push you down. And I've identified with 2 clients, we identified toxic circles, like toxic people are in their lives. Sometimes it was in their own houses. I said, well, we've got to do something about this. Otherwise, achieve what you want to achieve. How important is that for you? And they did take action, and I mentored them through taking action. One was a father and son relationship, and that's very delicate. And then I mentor them and I accompany them. How's that going? What do you feel? Now, maybe you want to say that out loud. It's really important. And once they got clarity, you know what happened? Make their goals, they took flight. They started taking the actions. They started getting up a little bit earlier or whatever they needed to do. They started being more and more committed. When you're committed, the results will come, that's for sure.
Great. All right. Thanks, Faisal. I really like that. I want to come back to the journal that you showed before, your 10X journal there. How long have you been doing that, this daily goal activity and the daily journaling? And
this has been...
Yeah, please.
Yeah, this has been perhaps almost a year now, actually.
How would you say it's changed your life doing that?
You know, Mick, every morning I get up and I have to write down my goals. My eye's on it. Just like if I weigh myself every morning, you know what happened? My weight goes down. You know why? Because I've got my eye on it. And when you put your focus on something, something changes. So by looking at my goals for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, writing them down every morning and every night, sometimes, you know, not all the time, but I should do. They're in front of me all the time. I want to become the best mentor. I want to help a lot of people. I don't want people to suffer in jobs, in their careers. I want people to become wealthier, to be smart and not get ripped off and grow. So when I want to do that, and I see that every morning, when I haven't done that for 2 or 3 days, I'm like, oh my God, I need to do something about this. I need to kick myself. And then I'll book a slot. You know, I'll pencil in, I'll time box something in my calendar. I'll block 2 hours out to focus on that. So just seeing it every day.
Great share. Thank you so much, Faisal. So this is a question that we ask the majority of our guests as they come onto the show. So what's the advice that you would give? And I'm going to twist it a little bit because you said something to me before we started. I normally ask people, what advice do you give to a 20-year-old Faisal? For you, I'm going to change it slightly. I'm going to say, what advice would you give to an 18-year-old Faisal? And you can explain why I twisted that if you like.
18-year-old, that's a great question, Mick, because I've actually asked myself that my whole business is based on the advice I would give myself if I was 18. My whole business is based on that. And what do I wish I knew then that could have changed everything right now? I'm going to give you 3 takeaways, maybe 4, I don't know yet. 1, live the life you want to live. Live it. If you want to be seen as somebody who's smart, dress smart. If you want to be seen as somebody who's taken seriously, act serious. Number 2, surround yourself with the people you want to become. I was surrounding myself with the people on the same level. It was about 15 years of my life that was lost because of that. So surround yourself with people already that you want to become like. And number 3, think big. You need to think 10x. Not you want a little house next door to your parents or the same thing. No. How do you go 10 times bigger than that? So you have enough for you, your partner, your kids, and that everybody's got comfort, and that no COVID, no pandemic, nothing is going to destroy you. Nothing's going to wipe you out. You are able to keep going. That's how much you want to have. You never want to be worried in life because you don't know. Unless you know when you're going to die, you don't know if you've got enough. And maybe a 4th one, actually, Mick, identify yourself. Identify yourself, write down your goals. And they can change, but write down your goals.
That's an interesting one on the goals. Let's explore that a little bit further, because one of the things that I did when I was young, I planned out my life and I wanted to be VP by a certain age, I wanted to be this by a certain age, etc., etc. And it took me a while to let go of a prescriptive plan. And when I became more adaptive, it doesn't mean I got rid of goals at all. In fact, I probably sharpened on it. But when I got rid of such a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year plan, what actually happened in my life was better than anything that I could have really thought of when I was 20. So once again, I didn't just lose sight of the idea of having goals, very similar to what you were saying, in fact, but I wasn't so prescriptive. And you did say the goals can change. So tell us about that. How do you build in flexibility into what you're saying?
Yeah. The idea is not to go in one direction and then the next direction the week after. But they need to be able to be evolving all the time as you get new information. We have fear because we lack information. That's all fear is for me, as far as I'm concerned. I've heard that, I've read it, I've seen it, I've experienced it. We have fear when we lack information. So maybe you're scared of thinking 10x and you're going to start thinking 1x, 2x, 3x.
Yeah,
try and think 10x. It's going to be unachievable. It's an unachievable goal. That's what you want to set because 100,000 a year or whatever currency we're in. Okay. But have you noticed people always come up about 85, they hit a roof there. I can't quite get to the 100. Well, how about you change that to 1 million? Because coming up short on 1 million is way better than coming short on 100. And that's what I'm kind of saying. But you can change as you meet new people, you will get new ideas, you will learn about new opportunities. And you need to be open to changing your goals all the time. But as long as they evolve, because as a person we evolve. I'm no way the person I was 2 years ago. And I hope that I'm a completely different person in 2 years' time as well. I want to keep growing. So my goals will evolve.
Yeah, I'll come back to the 10x again versus, like I said, double the business type thing. If you set that 10x goal, you've got to be careful here because you end up setting expectations and you do need to ensure that you're doing this in the right way, particularly if you're in a corporate world where there's fiscal reporting that needs to happen, et cetera, et cetera. But the mindset is the key here because if you do think 10x and you miss that goal even by 50%, you're now 5x compared to where you were previously. Whereas if you set the goal to double your business, like I was saying before, and you miss it by 10%, well, now you're only 1.9x compared to where you were. So it's really good. I mean, the mindset is the key, the 10x mindset. I'm going to go and study this myself a little bit more, I have to say, and I encourage the audience to really think about that. Okay, Faisal, that brings us to a close. But what we do at the end of every podcast is we always give our guests the opportunity to have the last say. And in particular, if there's anything you want to say about your business, how people can get in contact with you, any recommendations that you would like to leave people, promote your business, the floor is yours. You can use it however you see fit.
Absolutely. I mean, Mick, I want to help as many people as possible to get out of this life of mediocrity and to find really themselves and have the courage and whatever it takes to go and chase who they really are and live to their full potential. If you relate to that or any of that hits you, you can go to my website, which is wakeupmentor.com. I've got an emailing list where I'm going to be dropping hints on and strategies that I learn, that I pay a ton of money for, by the way, and I'm taking some of these, boiling them down and putting them out there for free. You're going to be able to follow all my social media platforms. There's links to all of that, and they can book a wake-up call. So people can book a wake-up call, which is a short call where I can just listen and give them my guidance for free and see how we can help each other. And if I can do that, then I'm going to make a tiny splash, and that's going to give me purpose.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Faisal, and thank you for your time today. So for the audience, wakeupmentor.com, but we will put those links in the show notes as well so that you can easily find them. I hope that you've enjoyed the session with Faisal just as much as I have. It's been very enlightening for me. It's been a great pleasure to have you on the show. And we do hope that you enjoyed it as well, Faisal. And we're backing you to 10x your business and to be the best mentor in your niche that you can be.
Thanks, Mick. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for your support. It's been great.
been listening to The Leadership Project with your host, Mick Spears. We really hope you're enjoying the show. If you are enjoying it, please don't forget to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service so that you're advised of all future episodes. And it'd be greatly appreciated if you could leave us a review and perhaps tell your friends about the show. In the meantime, please do take care, look out for each other, stay safe, and always remember to challenge the status quo. And we'll be back with you really soon.